sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here.
After a successful career at Armadillo and promoting rock and roll, I decided that I was tired of selling concert tickets and blue jeans and tank tops, and I made a commitment to renewable energy.
This is probably the first place in the country, as far as I know, where we've got a person who is coming in and putting windmills on someone's property and offering them basically a royalty for the use of that property for the wind production. So we're taking a production approach to this renewable energy. It's not just some sort of exotic energy. What she's doing is that she's drilling holes in this concrete so that they can put these large boats here, these boats that expand. And those basically are going to be what anchor the guy wires down, which of course anchor down the windmill.
You know, big things can happen that you don't expect to happen, but you got to try.
The new solar photovoltaic power plant, PV300, is a direct response to community interest in diversifying Austin's present fuel mix of gas, oil, and coal through the use of renewable energy resources.
The photovoltaic cells started in the 1950s during the space race, and since then they've been proven to be highly reliable. We've had photovoltaics up in space for over 20 years, and now we're testing it on terrestrial uses on the Earth.
The photovoltaic 300 solar power plant, a promising new technology. The City of Austin, planning for the future since 1890.
And I graduated from high school in 1964. There wasn't a whole lot of attention being paid to renewable energy at that time. And I was walking around in Austin on 51st Street, and I saw this pickup truck sitting in front of one of the little houses there, and it had a device on a rack. And I didn't know what it was, and I looked at it, and I said, what the heck is that? So I went inside, and they said, that's a solar water heater. And I said, well, that's really interesting. You know, I come from a farming background. What does it do? They said, well, you can heat water, or you can heat air, or whatever you want to do. It's using the sun to heat. And I said, that is something I might be interested in doing.
We were running against the wind. We were young and strong.
It kind of fell together.
TREIA was formed and began to focus even more on the concept of a big tent for all the renewable sources. We had to keep emphasizing that they all work together, and separately, you won't succeed.
You might say that it was all planned, but it wasn't. What I call clear intent. We knew what we wanted to achieve. We weren't absolutely certain how we were going to get there, but a lack of energy was not going to be one of the reasons that we didn't succeed. And you know, all in all, we have succeeded, and we will continue to succeed.
Electric lady, you're a star. You got a classic and a crazy.
TREIA was gathering visionaries and thought leaders to help promote the wind energy. And that's when I started getting involved. I became the president of TREIA around 2014, and I was the first female president.
TREIA was really active. They had a lot of committees, and I was really interested in what all the things they were doing. So I got to be involved, and I was really excited to be able to lend my voice.
So for many years, there was a lot of money that came out for early stage research, and then which then turns into technology, which then turns into commercialization, and that became my world.
Those very first years, the first 1 or 2 years, we accomplished an enormous amount at TREIA. We actually stopped some really big coal plants from getting built, and that put TREIA on the board, and ultimately it put TREIA at the table when it came to policy planning discussions later on in not only Governor Richards' administration, but also George Bush the Younger's administration.
It was clear that the train had left the station, but wind, hey, there was something we could latch onto. So we started focusing more and more on wind.
It was great. I mean, we were putting together the very first wind in Texas. It was a really exciting time to be a part of that.
And we actually got the most important thing, which went through 3 governors, but the so-called CREZ lines, which was a multi-billion-dollar investment to move renewables from the rural centers to the urban centers where the load is.
And which was a huge body of work by many people that were involved in figuring out how to create transmission infrastructure to serve the wind areas out in the western edges of Texas.
Understood by folks, and we were able to get a substantial transmission in place so that we could have the kind of renewable energy infrastructure that we have today.
That concept of CREZ, it's everybody. It's not just the people in TREIA, but without TREIA, that wouldn't have advanced as fast. And if it didn't, the seed was implanted, who knows it would have made it.
We here are working for Texans to provide energy independence. We understand that we have a huge challenge to meet, and that working together is how we're going to get there. And so I think it's a really interesting time.
The most exciting and impactful moment for me in the history of my relationship with Texas Renewable Energy Industries Association is founding GridNext. GridNext was founded in 2014 as a convening platform for thought leaders so we can further the integration of renewable energy through grid modernization.
We understood that it would make a lot of really good sense to merge with CleanTX.
So we are celebrating 40 years of TREIA, but now that both organizations are together, we're obviously celebrating both of these organizations. And Melissa Miller, is the one totally responsible for that. She had help, but Melissa's amazing. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad we're getting back together again and seeing old friends and in this very important industry.
The merger with TREIA and CleanTX was quite the undertaking and very exciting for me to be a part of.
Our goal was to make Austin, Texas, a hub of clean tech in the United States.
It's been really invigorating and a really exciting time.
Yeah, one of the biggest moments for CleanTX, I think, was a study that we had done by an economic development professional who, after his research was done, found out that we had a big clean tech ecosystem, which actually impacted the economy of Austin, Texas, which was important to go to the city council and the mayor and others, and of course Austin Energy, which is a supporter, to say we are now a clean energy hub, and we are a clean energy hub, and we've now created a huge clean energy ecosystem here.
If you wake up, don't hold a smile. If it takes just a little while, open your eyes, look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
And a lot of folks don't realize it, but not do we just have, roughly 70 gigawatts of renewables online in Texas. We now have north of 10 or 11 or 12 gigawatts of stationary storage, solid state storage.
I think right now is a really critical time. We are seeing an extreme amount of load needs that are increasing in Texas.
This is off the charts in terms of the amount of energy that needs to be generated. And guess what? Oil and gas can't do it all.
In order to kind of step up and meet that demand, we've really recognized that working together across industry is really important.
We're seeing the fossil fuel forces putting together all of their resources in order that they don't lose the war, but they're going to lose the war.
It will always be a continuous challenge on integrating into the grid, and there will be always a lot of stakeholder differences around it. And that's why you have to have the passion to enjoy this and actually to move the needle.
If anybody's going to solve this, load tsunami problem, it's going to be Texas, in my personal opinion. So I think it's a real honor and opportunity that we have to lead the nation here.
We may not be down to the 1 yard line. We're probably down to the 10 or 15 yard line. But we've got the momentum.
What is it going to look like in 40 years? I haven't got a clue. I can tell you this, that given the transition that's occurred in the last 40, that many people did not see or even couldn't imagine. Can you imagine what will happen in the next 40?
I've been doing this for 50 years, and when I look back at it and all the things that we have accomplished, I can rest easy knowing that we did what we needed to do in order to get the renewable energy movement, not just a little niche movement, but in many days in Texas now, renewables run from 35% to a high of 68 or 69% now of the total mix, and that's an enormous progress for the clean energy industry, and I think we can all be proud of it.